Damn these Biloxi blues, it happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
I have not.
Summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.
Right
here. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No,
I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Right to the hook, right here.
Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget live, the not so live kind, right here from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill. Hope all you low lifers are doing well out there. This is the podcast for August the 30th. And if you're just tuning in and you're like, this guy just called me a low lifer. Well, that is what the listeners of this program refer to themselves as. So welcome, low lifers, young and old, male, female. You know, we don't even care what side of the political aisle you're on. We just all low lifers when we get together right here weekly. Sometimes we do it live. We do it not live way more times than not right here on LBL. And I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It's been a little interesting week here at the Traveling Circus Low Budget Live headquarters here, otherwise known as my house. Man, we've got the COVID. Got the COVID in the house here. Not me, not the triple threat, but one of my stepsons got it. Locked the house down. The kids have been quarantined since Monday, and hopefully they get to go back to school here in the next few days. But it's not been fun. Luckily, Charlie, who's my 17-year-old stepson, he's been sick, man. He's been down for the count. But luckily, he's been able to, just fight it here at home. But it ain't no joke. He's super active kid, and he has been down, to say the least, for the last few days. Luckily, none of the other kids have tested positive. They actually, they've all been getting tested. They've got to get tested before they can go back to school. But, just fingers crossed that nobody else in the house ends up with it. The triple threat 9, Harper, are vaccinated. Harper's been staying out in the bar and grill away from all the chaos, so she doesn't have to interrupt life there. But definitely, it's just such strange times, man. I've talked on here so many times about this. I know y'all, you tune out a lot of times when I talk about COVID or talk about being vaccinated or whatever. And that's fine. Lost listeners the last time I talked about this. It is what it is. But I've had several listeners reach out to me. Thank you for talking about it. Thanks for shedding some light on it from the fishing industry perspective on the COVID thing. Lots of people hurting with this crap, especially this variant, man. We've lost several people in our community again this week. And I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I got a dear friend of mine. He is still fighting for his life down in Birmingham. He is stepping down on the vent a little bit now. He's over a month in, though. He's completely sedated. He hasn't seen his family. They're trying to get him to wake up now. And it's just sad, man. It's sad that we're in this spot, But, thoughts and prayers to everybody affected by COVID. And I want to say thoughts and prayers to our military and the families of those that were lost over in Afghanistan this week. I wanted to start the show with that. I watched a little bit of that this morning. I'm recording this on Sunday. And watched a little bit of those soldiers coming back home in caskets. And it got to me, man. We're in such a divided time in this country, I feel like, where everything's a political statement or everything's a political post. And we can't just agree that just to be empathetic towards our fellow man more so than anything. And I have nothing but respect for our military and the situation over there. It is terrible. It's been terrible for years and years and years, and I hate any time Americans lose their lives or anybody loses their life, and in the entire world, like it's it's awful. It's an awful situation. So we've got a battle here at home. I think we've got a battle over there. Definitely brewing. Not sure what's going to happen there. And it's a terrible situation. So thoughts and prayers out to all of those. And then I got to say, as I hit record today, a place that's near and dear to my heart, Louisiana, a place that I've been many times fishing down around Venice with the Journey South Outfitters folks, Captain Mo and Eric down there. My buddy John with Run and Gun Outfitters down there, all the folks at the Venice Marina. Been down many times, and they're getting pummeled right now by Hurricane Ida, so thoughts and prayers go out to them as well. Just so much going on and so much to pull your attention from here to there and everywhere right now. And I think it's safe to say that we just need to kind of focus on family and hunker down a little bit in these times and just be thankful for what we got and not be, don't take stabs at folks that you think differently than you politically, or because they're vaccinated or they're not vaccinated, or they don't think that what's going on in Afghanistan is right, wrong, and whatever. Like right now, I just think we're at a crucial time, man, in our country. I haven't seen any unrest like this, I feel like, in a long time. And I think back to like September 11th. I was a freshman in college. I just feel like the country as a whole, how we felt in that moment. And we're not there right now. And I feel like we should be there for people that are dying for COVID, that we should, and this is a broad stroke thing, but I feel like that's where we should be. We should be sad that people are sick, not, oh, it's the flu, or, the things you see people say regarding COVID. Like, it's very real, and it's killing a lot of people and impacting a lot of families. I don't know the stats. Don't hit me with them in the comments. I don't care. It's very real. It's impacted my life in a lot of ways, and a lot of friends of mine, a lot of families in our community, and a lot of folks I know throughout the country. So I think it's very real. You got to be empathetic towards that. I think what's going on in Afghanistan is horrible. I think you got to be empathetic towards that. I think like these weather situations, these hurricanes, things like that, you just got to feel for people. You do. And we all get a little bit too caught up in what we got going on, but just kind of want to open the show with that. A lot of you probably tuned out on that. But, it is what it is. There's so many scenarios going on. It's hard to even do a bass fishing podcast, to be honest, because I feel like it's like the least important thing in the world right now. But you know what? If it provides y'all some distraction from all the craziness in the world, then by God, here we are. And I want to thank the people that make it possible. Folks at StarTron, bringing you Low Budget Live for going on 4 years now and kicking ethanol in the teeth, in your weed eater, in your chainsaw, in your lawnmower. I mean, I don't like mowing the yard, but when I have to, I want to make sure that sucker runs. So little dab will do you in your tank right there. We're getting really close to hunting season. You're going to be putting it in those UTVs, getting them fired up. You might be fixing to store, here in a couple months. God forbid you live somewhere that you got to store your boat. You got to put your boat away for the season. You got some fuel in there. Put you some ethanol in the tank. Kick ethanol in the teeth. Put some ethanol in the tank. I did it again. All tongue-tied this morning. Put some StarTron in your tank and kick ethanol in the teeth. The fine folks at Star Bright and StarTron bringing you Low Budget Live. Yeah, you think as many times as I've said that. Somebody sent me a message and said, man, I want to get you an ethanol sponsorship. And I was like, bring it on. I'll kick it in the teeth with some StarTron. The folks at Sims Fishing Products bringing you LBL this year. Awesome people, awesome products, from the Solar Flex hoodie to the Pro Dry rain suits. I mean, I love the sun pants. I've got, I don't know, tons and tons of Sims gear. T-shirts. They got some swag-looking T-shirts. Check that one out right there. Fish it well. I like that one. But tons of gear to keep you dry, keep you warm, keep you cool, keep you whatever. Out there against the elements, as outdoorsmen, we certainly face it out there, whether you're hunting and fishing. Sims has what you need. And I'm here to remind all of you low-lifers, you get one life. Fish it well. Pro Guide batteries. Got them firing up in that old X21 Express. They just dropped about a month ago. their new lithium line. Super light. They weigh about half of what their AGMs did. They are very powerful. They stay charged. I've been blown away by them. If you would like to check them out or the 31 series AGMs I've been running all year, you can use code LBL10 over at Pro Guy Batteries to get yourself some. And last but certainly not least, hang the freaking banner, man. Hang it right here. Express Boats, the official, man. It don't get any better than that. The official boat of Low Budget Live and the Traveling Circus, the Express X21. I just put a video up. If you missed it, go check it out. It was up this weekend on taking my boat up there in that rough water on the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. Get a lot of comments about how it performs in rough water. And, everybody's got questions. Everybody's got questions because it is such a unique boat in that the fact that it's a 21-footer, the fact it's rated for a 250 horsepower Yamaha, even though it's an aluminum boat, throws people off. I get so many freaking people coming up at the gas station like, man, this is crazy. What's this boat made of? Yada, yada, yada. They just look so cool. You got the sea deck flooring. Fishability is amazing. The storage is amazing. But go check out that video. Just a small, short little video about the rough water up there. Wasn't the roughest water I've certainly ever seen on the Great Lakes, but it was rough enough for me, and the boat passed the test with flying colors for me. Express Boats, Hot Springs, Arkansas, building excitement since 1966. All righty then. Man, if you're still with me after my show open there, and I don't, I try not to get in my feels about stuff, but man, it's hard to turn on the news on a day like today and not feel compelled to talk about these things, especially our military, man. These are kids. You look at, these are. I got my stepdaughter Harper, Triple Threat's daughter. She's 20, be 21 next year, and some of these folks were that age. So yeah, it's tough, And I've got a lot of military folks. I had military veterans in my family, but I've had a lot of low-lifers are in our military, and they reach out from overseas, and I've talked about that on this show many times. But it's just an honor to know folks like that are that selfless, because I am chicken shit compared to those human beings that just they just sign up, man, and they don't know what they're trudging headfirst into, and sometimes unfortunately they lose their lives. So again, I want to say, just thoughts and prayers to those families, and much respect to our military. All right, now we can talk about goofy bass fishing, I promise. Congratulations to Chris Johnston. Those freaking smallmouth Tasmanian devils of the St. Lawrence River, just up there doing it to it. 77 pounds in the Toyota Series for 3 days. Huge shout out though to my little buddy Justin Atkins. He hung in there with the Johnsons. He ends up third. He caught over 70 pounds of smallmouth for 3 days. If you ever told me that wouldn't win a tournament, I would tell you were crazy. But here we are. Justin did it. And just he's won over $40,000 on the St. Lawrence River in 2 tournaments. That's stellar. And he got the best of Chris and Corey up there during the Elite Series. He finished ahead of them. Then they owed him one this week, and Chris finished first. Corey finished second. It's amazing to see, man. That's such a special fishery. I just hope that we can take care of it. That St. Lawrence River is so special. Shout outs to Brent Anderson, my buddy Brent Crow making the top 10 up there as well. Good to see. Good to see some of the home region boys up there battling with them big smallies. It was a cool tournament to watch. Love anything on the St. Lawrence. So Toyota Series, I think there's a Bassmaster Open coming up there as well. I'm sure Chris and Corey have already tried to get in that and probably will be in that as well. I'm not sure if Justin's fishing that one. But pretty awesome tournament. Pretty awesome event. So congrats to those guys. A lot of people online making a big deal out of it because Bass holding up those MLF trophies, some Bassmaster guys, but, they're just taking advantage of a situation on a lake and river that they're really good at. I don't think there was a lot of that, we're only fishing this because we fish Bassmasters and it's got MLF on the trophy. The pictures were hilarious. I mean, I'll give them that. The top 3 are all Bassmaster guys wearing Bassmaster patches on their jersey. It was an interesting week to say the least. But Mark McQuaw, great tournament director, runs a great event, super classy dude. bringing up the Elite Series on stage, talking about those guys fishing the Bassmaster Elite Series. You know, that's something over the years that always has frustrated me with professional bass fishing, is trying to act like the other trails don't exist that are out there. So very cool watching the weigh-in and hearing Mark talk about those guys being successful in the Elite Series and now fishing the Toyota Series event there on the St. Lawrence. So good event, man. Good event. Anytime, 77 pounds. Johnson had 27. I thought Taku's stringer smallies was impressive, and it was during the final day of the Elites, but 27 pounds and some change. My God, man. Just incredible. Incredible for that Canadian brotherly duo there that just seems to be, you know, they think like a smallmouth. That's for damn sure, especially on that river. Speaking of Canadians, Speaking of Canadians, so I had several folks reach out on this, and so I've got to say something because I just, I do have to. That's just my nature. But Jacob Wheeler, I've talked on here how I've reached out to Jacob several times, and Jacob and I are buddies. Jacob and I feel like Jacob and I have a good relationship. We have for a long time, but due to obviously some of my opinions and some of his business arrangements and life, you know, being an MLF guy, being sponsored by Duckett Fishing, he's not ever said that. That's me assuming why he wouldn't do it, but he's turned me down for the podcast a few times. This week he went on another fishing podcast. And Jacob, and that's what you guys have reached out to me for. Man, I can't believe he did that show. I can't believe anybody does that show. But a lot of you reached out to me about that. And here's the thing. This is what I know about Jacob. He absolutely is a class act. And I'll say this. The day he did that show, I didn't know he was doing that show. I don't keep up with that show. Honest to God, care less about that show. He sent me a text that night. I was sitting out here by the pool with the kiddos. He said, "Hey man, just wanted to give you a heads up. I got asked to be on the show and wanted to let you know I've turned you down several times. I'm tired of the division in bass fishing, and I want to come on your show as well. It's only fair because I agreed to do this one." So hats off to Jacob Wheeler. I thought that was badass of him since he got asked to do the other that, you know, that, I don't know. I told him, I was like, dude, that makes my year. That's a very respectful thing to do. And so he and I are working on a few things. We are. We've talked about a few things. And so me and the Dean King are going to get together here this fall at some point, and I look forward to that. You know, I've obviously I got a lot of respect, but as recent as the Justin Atkins here in the studio podcast, I talked about that Jacob would not come on, and so hopefully we can make that happen in some capacity. We're going to do something. So he and I are talking, and a lot of respect for a guy that'll do that, especially after doing that other show. You know, whatever. Hilarious. So, Thirsty Wednesdays? No, yeah, Thirsty Wednesdays is what I call those days. But huge respect to Jacob J. Wheels for reaching out. So, like I said, stay tuned. Stay tuned on that one. We're gonna have a good time at some point, for sure. All right, a lot of folks tagging me in this, and I've seen this one coming. I'll preface this next subject by saying that seen it coming. I think I told you it was coming maybe several times. A lot of people, though, the BPT announcing their qualifiers for next year, and I throw quotes around that just because it's kind of silly. But Watson and I actually talked about this on a podcast, so I knew this was coming, felt like this was coming our way, coming the pro circuit guys' way. And what I mean by that is qualifying for the Bass Pro Tour since day one, when the field was picked and this 80 angler group was put together, there were questions of, you know, how long are they going to fish? Well, it was 3 years, right? And then you had guys leave, so they had to add more guys. And this year, instead of replacing, I think, however many people have left, I don't know how many people, But they replaced, I guess it was five left. So they replaced 5 with finishers from the prior pro circuit events. It's kind of confusing, but like, hey, congratulations. Now you get to pay another entry fee and come fish BPT. Which a lot of guys, like to mix it up. Some of them did well in that format for sure. They're probably excited about the opportunity. I'm sure of that as well. But that was how they decided to fill those 5 spots. Then they gave, invites to John Cox and John Cox, Dudley, Thrifty. They got invited on that round, right? And all we heard in the beginning was 10 guys at the end of 3 years. This is the most strict trail out there. 3 years, man. That's all you get. And then because these guys committed to this for 3 years, so we're at least going to give them 3 years. Then at the end of that, the bottom 10 in our cumulative point standings will hit the door. I had my doubts about that because especially after they bought FLW, because I knew some of the ones that were in the bottom 10, they're not ever going to be able to make it back to BPT. Competition is just way too fierce now. So they're not going to be able to make it back in. And if you've been at that top level of the sport, whether it be the Elite Series or BPT or FLW, you don't want to go backwards, right? And so I think so many of those guys didn't want to face what 20-something Elite Series anglers just had to face, okay? So I called bullcrap on that several times because I never thought, especially because some of them are owners. Now, I think James said on the podcast, it would not shock me to see Gary Klein retire, to see Boyd retire. Some of the older guys, this was their retirement plan anyways, I feel like. So I think it would not surprise me to see that happen. But as of right now today, doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. And what I mean by that, if you haven't seen it, top 10 in points from FLW were 5 BPT guys that are already doing well on the BPT, and then 5 pro circuit guys are getting called up. Originally, it was said that it would be a 2-year average to get to go to the Bass Pro Tour to get called up. And so that's kind of what the pro circuit guys were fishing for once BPT bought or FLW, and they kind of started overshadowing what was the top level of FLW. It's one thing that I talked about a lot. I didn't agree with that. It did make it harder for some of those FLW guys to get press. When those BPT guys do well in those events, which they tend to do, it doesn't matter if they're leading. Their pictures are always going to be leading. They get the most press, and they're riding that horse. Okay, MLF is for sure. And it's the same if they fish Toyotas and whatever. Like, they're going to give them that love because it's that top level of their pyramid scheme. But I think for me, it's frustrating because they said it would be a 2-year average and then they would bring up 10 guys from the pro circuit. Well, we're not seeing that. And now it's just a 1-year deal. Okay, so they just kind of, last year didn't count because it was so crazy with COVID. And it was just a hodgepodge mess last year because they let everybody fish, and then they had the super FLW, MLFLW tournaments and all that. This year, though, points counted for the BPT guys. Obviously, Michael Neal winning Angler of the Year. Skeet Reese finishing way up there. Justin Lucas, all those guys. But they said in this press release they qualified for the Bass Pro Tour. So they gave 5 of those 10 spots to BPT guys, which saved 5 of their own on the BPT, and then 5 more guys are coming up now. Let's look at this list real quick. Got it on my phone. Yeah, so it went Michael Neal, Skeet Reese, Ryan Salzman, Gunnersville boy, Huntsville, Alabama, Justin Lucas, Cole Floyd, who's a freaking hammer as well, Cody Meyer, then Ron Nelson, Clabian Johns, Jeremy Lawyer, and Mike McClellan. So you've got Ryan Salzman, Cole Floyd, Ron Nelson, Clabian Johns, and Jeremy Lawyer getting called up to have the opportunity to fish the Bass Pro Tour next year. And all of those guys had a really solid first year. A very solid 2021. I still wish they would have gone to the combined standings. Ron Nelson obviously would have been on top of that because he won AOY last year. He's amazing. Jeremy Lawyer would probably be in that group as well. I'm going to go ahead and say because he's a freaking hammer. Cole Floyd is a rookie this year. Salzman, not sure what he did last year, had an incredible year this year as well. But they're getting called up, and no offense to those dudes at all. I'm sure they're very excited for that opportunity to go fish for more money and, have an opportunity to fish at that level. I have no doubt. But what I find has to be discouraging for pro circuit anglers is a moving target. First of all, you're already being overshadowed, at least on paper, by BPT, right? And now you've got guys that have fished that pro circuit for years when it was the FLW Tour, right? For years and years and years. You took away the Forest Wood Cup to make Red Crest the biggest thing in the world. We're still not seeing that, but to make it that. You took away the cup. You took away the money the cup paid. Now the title championship pays $200,000, gives away a wrestling belt instead of a trophy. Instead of weighing in an arena, you weigh in a parking lot. Covered all that. But you did that to the pro circuit because just to kind of knock it down a few notches, I felt like, in my opinion. But it's your feeder system for BPT, but you're allowing your BPT anglers to then compete, not only compete, but also win Angler of the Year. And I just don't get it. I don't get why you're not dropping people out of the Bass Pro Tour. And look, I talked about this with Watson, and he's like, hey, man, I feel like I rolled the dice to do this, and I deserve a platform, and James really doesn't fish anything else. I get it. I do get that standpoint. Those guys did risk it. It's been, they've been criticized by jerks like me. They've been criticized by a lot of fishing fans, and it was a complete uprooting of where they had all been. So I understand it from that standpoint. But 3 years, if you ain't performed, there's the door. Go. You can't tell me it's the greatest league in the history of all leagues and then keep the bums around that don't do crap. That's just my opinion, man. Even if they do pay their ownership dues or whatever, if they're one of those 12 or 13. That's all I'm saying. And you got young guys, you got the Matt Beckers of the world out here fighting, Kurt Mitchells, great young anglers that deserve to keep moving up your ranks if that's how you set it up. But now, so-and-so, not going to throw out any names because Lord knows that they can't handle that. But there are guys at that bottom just going around that drain that need to go requalify, in my opinion, or they need to retire and go do TV shows, whatever the case is. That's just my take on it. That's what they said but this has all been a moving target. And this is what I'll say about it. And then we're going to get a good guest on the phone right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to text him. Right now. Let me text him. But this is all I'll say about it. Do I watch BPT? Yes, when I can. Do I think it takes a massive amount of skill to catch the numbers of freaking fish that you got to catch to keep up with Jacob Wheeler, who's won 3 of them this year? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I think there are guys that have figured it out and are benefiting from the Bass Pro Tour? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I think that the Pro Circuit / FLW Tour is one of the greatest things in professional fishing just a few years ago? Absolutely. Do I think there are guys that do not give a damn that are fishing the Pro Circuit? Yes. They don't care. They want to go fish for $10,000 checks, and they're getting to do that. It's a great tournament trail still today. Still. But it is AAA compared to the Bass Pro Tour on paper, and that sucks. That sucks for those guys. The moving target is something I've had a problem with Major League Fishing. Oh, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, we're going to change this. They don't stick to anything that they say they're going to do. It's a moving freaking target. It's a moving target. So that's been my deal from day one. That's my thoughts on it. I think it sucks for Pro Circuit guys. I do. I think it will continue to suck for Pro Circuit guys. There's rumors they're going to cut the field back next year. Going to be a lot of guys get cut from it. They want to cut that field. They're going to cut guys. There's some guys on the outside looking in that have fished for 20 years with FLW, but by God, they're not going to drop anybody from the Bass Pro Tour. Also a rumor that they're going back to no entry fees next year at BPT, which I think they've got to, or I think it's going to be a mass exodus out the door. And I think they're saving that by going no entry fee. And I hope they can sustain it. I do. They've got to. I care about too many people that fish over there, man. I hope that it remains a platform for them, and I hope they can figure their shit out. But I think right now it is a shit show once again, like with this deal. And like you just see the fans commenting, you know, I don't know. Maybe there aren't 5 other guys on the pro circuit that feel like they should be getting that call. I don't know. We're going to talk to a guy right now, one of my greatest friends in the world, who is a pro circuit angler. He is a former Forest Wood Cup champion. Most of all, he's one of the most just badass human beings I know on planet Earth, and that is Brad freaking Knight. What's up, BK?
What's up?
Oh, you know, just out here stirring up a little bit on LBL, buddy.
Surely not. You'd never do such a thing.
I would never do something, and I would never go on a rant about the pro circuit and BPT qualifications or anything like that and then call one of my best friends. No, I would never do that. Well, and then put you on the spot. But go Vols, first of all, is what I want to open with here.
I can't be put on the spot. It's all good. I just call balls and strikes.
That's right. And that's what I've always, when you and I first met each other, I was like, that guy right there is going to be one of my dudes forever, because that's you in a nutshell, dude. You're like me. You just say what you think. It might not always be the best thing at the time. We're not afraid to go back and say, yeah, I shouldn't have done that or whatever either. But you are very much black and white. There's no gray. And dude, you and I talked a little bit about you were frustrated, and I think you don't care to talk about this. You were frustrated. You have been frustrated with, especially how the Forest Wood Cup was done, and you've made posts about it. Like, it's frustrating to a guy. You won $500,000 and changed your life in an arena, and now it's gone, right? And I think that you've been openly frustrated about that, correct?
I have been, yeah. I don't. To me, like, the Forest Wood Cup's over with. Like, to say that what we have now is the Cup or refer to it as anything is just basically foolish. It's just another tournament now. It's completely different, night and day.
Pays a little bit more than a regular tournament.
Yeah, that's it. And that's just basically what it is. And that's, as long as you look at it with those eyes and no other expectations, you won't be disappointed. But, you know, I've fished FLW for, I don't even know how many years, 10 or 12 years. You know, I made about half of those times I made the Cup. And, you know, it's a damn accomplishment. I mean,
yes.
Some of the best bass fishermen in the world. Look down the list of the guys that made the championship this year, and you know, Skeet Reese's of the world. No doubt. I mean, I don't even want to call names out because it's irrelevant. But anyway, you catch them all year and you qualify for a championship. You know, kind of expect a championship. And it's just kind of another tournament now. And it is what it is. You know, they're not. It's not hidden or like.
No, it wasn't like a secret thing. No, not at all.
It's we went from having, you know, red carpet events with wearing $1,000 suit with your wife, showing up to a nice formal dinner, you know, and now it's a tournament in the parking lot like Thursday night or on Once Bar.
Well, and the thing is that you hit on there that it is sad, because that Cup, man, you had the Classic. I feel like the BFL All-American is a huge tournament.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a staple in the industry. What we do,
and it was very much a red carpet event too. It's not anymore. It's just another bass tournament. They give away money. It's still a stellar event, but it's not what it was. And now, with the buying of FLW, that's one of the first things that went was a Forest Wood Cup, man. And I just feel like there will be
too much competition, bro.
That's right. That's right.
You're having competition against your headlining events. That's what it boils down to.
That's right.
Your business model.
Yep.
You know, I don't have to fish it if I don't like it.
That's exactly that. That's what I was going to get to.
Bottom line.
That's right. So, but I want to say this because you do love FLW. You do love fishing the pro circuit. You've loved it for a long time. You're like me. You love the Daniel Fennells and Kathy Fennells of the world, Bill Taylor. Like you and I both.
They're in a bad spot.
They're in a bad spot.
A smile on their face and tell everybody that that's a good thing. When they know.
They know.
I don't have to conversate with them.
That's right.
When everybody gets pissed off when I talk about that kind of stuff, like I put my post out there and makes everybody pissed off. Well, I'd be fine to tell me where I'm wrong in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where am I wrong?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where I get with it, man. And I just think for guys like you, and there are so many more, the Greg Bohannons I think about that have been fishing for so damn long. And like you said, you can't name names because there's just too many. And I know so many and care about so many guys. But I think for me this week, and I had so many people tag me in this, so I had to talk about it. And I wanted to have you on not only just to check in with you about everything going on and kind of what you're thinking, but on this pro circuit to BPT qualification thing. I mean, they released it like Justin Lucas qualified for BPT, and he already fishes BPT and does very well there, so he didn't need that spot. That could have gone to a pro circuit guy. Now, whether or not there are 5 more guys that even wanted to go, I don't know. But when it is a carrot that's out there, I just feel like it's been a moving target, right? Because originally they said it would be a 2-year average, correct? That was how I took it.
Man, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm so damn confused on everything that goes on. Everybody that's called me and where you're at, where you've been at. I mean, I don't have a lot of desire to really qualify for it, so I really don't care, to be honest with you. I'm really good where I'm at. Wish we had a few more tournaments and a better championship like it used to be, and I wouldn't really care anything about any BPT qualifications.
Right.
But with that being said, it's been a unique situation for those folks when they've got all the guys that have left over the years, how they fill those spots up. So,
right.
You know, it comes down to nut cutting time where we got to kick some dudes out, you know, and we've talked about it, but, you know, now we got to really do it. But, you know, they're going to find any way in the world not to, keep as many of those guys as they probably should. I have no problem with that. Yeah. But next year, it's got to be, kind of just a straight up, something's got to be a little more clear for these guys, I think.
No doubt. And
for no other reason, I'm just tired of taking calls. Everybody calling me what we need to do. Hell, I don't know. I'm not the tournament director. I just fish.
You're like, damn! All these podcasts calling, asking for the BK effect. I need the BK juice here on this.
I'll give you the juice. I'm just talking like anglers.
No, I know.
Just as confused as everybody else.
No, I talk to me. I talk to a lot of pro circuit guys, and they're like, man, I don't know. And I talk to some employees, and they're like, dude, I don't know what in the hell we're doing.
Right.
That's always the funniest part to me is my buddies that work there that are like, dude, they don't know. As of 2 weeks ago, they're like, I don't know how they're going to get qualifiers. They don't either.
I mean,
it's a crapshoot.
Like the FLW folks have only been running tournaments for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell them all what to do. Like they don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's
the smartest thing for the MLF guys would just be let them run the tournaments.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Don't go sell stuff or do whatever it is you do. Let FLW run the tournament.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
That's kind
Kathy
of
Fennell, Bill Taylor, Daniel. Those guys will do a great job. Just get out of their way and let them do their thing.
Tournament crew, unbelievable tournament crew. Yeah, it's that classic example though of and I've gone through it in life. Personally, where the business you work for gets bought out, and then they bring in all the smart people.
Right.
A successful business, successful business for 30 years, and they're like, "Let me tell you what you guys do wrong." And you're like, okay, well,
in
we've
every facet of life, it's that way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Associated with sponsorship. I mean, Strike King is a perfect example. They've only been iconic brand for 50 years. Let's just go in there and buy them and change all that stuff up. That don't be good.
Yeah.
That's working out well for them.
Yeah, let's shake this up. Let's change all this up. You guys were successful, but we think, and we being non-fishermen, we think we've got a better idea. Let's throw that out there. And something I do want to say, and maybe BPT, they're clinging to this. I don't know. MLF on, we had the COVID year. Things were crazy. I don't know. Maybe they're taking that into consideration on not booting anybody after 3 years because Bass did do that as well, right?
Yeah,
those guys did. Yeah, Bass got an extra year.
It's just them muddy waters.
That's right. Confusing.
Nobody really knows. Bass Pro Tour guys are calling me, asking me what I know about. It's crazy.
You're like, don't call me, man. I don't know.
No, I've had like 6 or 7 guys. Hey, man, what's exactly the deal with that stuff? I said, dude, I ain't got any idea. I don't have. Call Boyd and ask him. He can tell you.
Yeah, he'll tell you something. I don't know what it'll be. He'll tell you something. That's for sure. Well, dude, what do you think? I mean, are you hearing will there be a cut to pro circuit and pro circuit participation? What I mean by that, are they striving to get the pro circuit down to a smaller number, or what's the deal there? Because a lot of people online are talking about that. I try not to jump off in the middle of rumors, but is that something you've seen? Do you is there a certain number? FLW was always top 100 in points requalified on paper.
Yeah, that's right. And personally, I haven't heard if there has or hasn't been. I've been on the rules panel or the committee angler. We were on that together for a few years.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call it now, but I removed myself from that position last year, and to be honest with you, man, I have no idea what they're going to do. All I know is that after 2020, I said all I want to do is pay my entry fee and tell me what day I need to show up and fish. I don't want to hear nothing else. I could care less about anything else. So I don't know what they do. They might change it to. I've heard in years past, that was the goal, was to try to get it smaller, but with smaller fields come smaller payouts. That's a slippery slope there as well.
Smaller payouts and less entry fees taken into pockets to turn lights on.
Right.
As well.
We're not a sport. Make no mistake about it. All you young guys out there, I'm going to be a bass fisher. We're a sport. Bass fishing is no sport. Bass fishing is a business.
Yes.
Straight up. And we're the customers.
That's right.
Don't think we're not. You're the customer. You're listening. And we all are. And that's okay. As long as everybody just understands we're not ever going to be PGA. We're not ever going to be NASCAR. We're bass fishing, bro. Like, the people that care about it are the people that do it and their friends and family.
It's a niche market.
Anything more than that.
It's a niche market.
Just as long as everybody gets cool with that, we'll all just move on.
Well, and it's been that way for so many years. And I do feel like we have this perception that it's bigger now than it's ever been because of high school fishing, because of college fishing. But I don't necessarily think that's the case, because that's just kids of the dads that do it. Now, if they all convert into, being bass anglers for the rest of their life, buying tackle, buying boats, it certainly could grow. But I heard, and you've heard this so many times, so many people think, we got to reach another market with bass fishing. We got to reach another market. We're going to reach a new audience. I heard this not long ago in a meeting I was in, and I said, no, you're not. And I hate to be that guy, that naysayer, but listen, if anybody could have done it, Bass and MLF really have tried, right? During the COVID thing, ESPN Live, ESPN2 Live. Bassmaster had an opportunity to convert, and
where are they at now?
Exactly. This year,
they're on Fox.
They're on Fox Sports.
Something maybe. I have no idea.
But the numbers,
it's not on the app. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but the numbers didn't convert, I'm sure, right? And some of the MLF BPT pie in the sky viewership numbers that they claim, they've been on CBS, they've been on Discovery Channel, they've done all these things. It's just so hard to convert that. I mean, somebody may pass by. Hell, I watched a freaking cornhole championship the other day on ESPN2. Bored out of my mind.
Bass fishing's not.
Yeah.
Bass fishing isn't going to be prime time, and cornhole is. Let that sink in.
Exactly. So I watched that, but what the point I'm making with that is I watched it in passing, but I'm never good. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, damn, I got to get more of this cornhole champion. Yeah, I got to get more of that in my life. Yeah, I got to know who Bobby Swanson is. That's the damn cornhole champ, man. I don't know, man. I just think there's I've said this on the show many times. I listened to a guy talk at a marine industry, boating industry thing I was at one time, and he said, all y'all in this room need to understand one thing. He said, you feel like you're doing big things out here. You feel like there are millions of people that care about boating and do all this. He said, the bubble gum industry is 10 times bigger than the marine industry.
That tells you a lot.
And dude, you're like, okay. So I don't know, man. I just want what's best for the anglers, I guess. Like you said, they're customers. I think they need to be listened to. That's the number one thing I hear the guys at MPFL saying a lot is these guys are customers. They don't try to, sugarcoat it. Like, these guys are paying to be a part of this. They're paying to make this happen. And we got to put on the best events we can with that in mind. And I do feel like that FLW's always been that way. I feel like the Toyotas, I said that about Mark McQuaw running the Toyotas. I watched a little bit of those weigh-ins this weekend with Atkins and them up there mixing it up at St. Lawrence. They put on a hell of an event. People love those. And it's the same with the BFLs. They're great events, man.
Absolutely. That's why they've been in business for so long.
Ain't no doubt about it, dude. Ain't no doubt about it. But so we got all the angry out of us there. I feel like, BK. I feel like
there's no anger.
There's no anger. It's just truth.
I went to a weigh-in. There was in a parking lot that was our. Look, I've been a part of 5 or 6 Forcewood Cups. Great, something you look forward to. Something that
special event.
The guys out here, we put in so much effort and time, and you're gone from your family, and you're missing birthdays and Mother's Day and I can just go on, and I make no pity party about that. Don't get me wrong.
It's your choice. It's your choice.
Absolutely. But when you go all year long, you qualify for the Cup, that's a rewarding experience.
Bring your family.
Proud for that moment, for what you worked for. And, it's a little bit tough that's no longer, something that you can kind of look, it's just, another tournament and with a lot of days off. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I think
I'd like to see the Cup bring back, like, aside from the tournament situation. I'm going to use this example. I'm not going to name any names. A buddy of mine has been fishing FLW for many, 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 many years. Qualifies for the championship last year, his very first one, right? This dude deserves to have, his moment in the sun, right? With his wife, his family there, have a nice arena weigh-in inside. I mean, all that kind of stuff, right? It's the whole package. It's rewarding for the anglers for your work all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's sad, and I hate it that those people, the young guys, aren't able to experience that. That's the hardest part I have with it.
Well, and last year they didn't have weigh-ins because they did MLF format. Then this year they went back to 5-fish format, but then they busted it up into the knockout rounds and the da-da-da and all that stuff. It's just hard. I think if you were trying to keep up with it, it's hard to follow in what they're doing.
It's hard to follow. What are you talking about? But anyway, kind of get off.
You're like, I'm paying my $35,000 in entry fees. My God, it's hard to follow that.
Yeah, I get it, man. So it's and maybe we're going to get benefit of the doubt. COVID, new buyout stuff. I've acquired a few businesses in the last few years. I get it, right? Like, I don't know their metrics or know their books or what they're dealing with. COVID who knows? Maybe they've got plans. Whoever's listening, if there's plans to kind of bring back the Cup, go back to that kind of stuff, maybe as we get more normal moving out, I hope that's something that's on their radar.
I hope so. During the title championship, I did a podcast entitled Bring Back the Force-Foot Cup, and Brad, nobody listened. Nobody from there listened. It didn't happen. I'm trying my best for you guys. I even had the Forest-Foot Cup sitting on the bar and grill, dude. I had it. Atkins brought his cup right here. We sat it on the damn bar for that episode.
Yeah, kind of cooler than a wrestling belt, huh?
A lot cooler than a wrestling belt. I mean, now listen, I was all about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I love the damn Ultimate Warrior. Big John Studd, Hulk Hogan. I mean, whatever. Shawn Michaels giving some sweet chin music to some folks.
Right.
The Undertaker,
I was a
whatever.
Ric Flair guy myself.
I can see that.
I'm with that.
I can see. So wrestling belts, cool as hell. Like they are. They're cool. But
if you catch like 100 pounds in a tournament, and you get
cool. Century belt thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you win the tournament, you get a trophy that you won one.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Dude, here's my thing. If I was Jimmy and I won that thing, and congrats to him again, he fished an amazing event, I'd wear it everywhere I went. There would never be another weigh-in.
Like Conor McGregor. I just walk around and try to win another one, just call myself the double champ.
Yes.
Refer to myself in third person.
Yes, of course. There's only one option when you win a wrestling belt fishing. And I feel like Jimmy's way too nice to do that. Throw it over your shoulder. Carry it, go into damn Shoney's wearing it. You know what I mean?
I'm wearing it around my waist. I'm not putting it over the shoulder. I'm strapped up, right on the waist.
On the front
I didn't have
deck.
A gun hanging off of it like the rest of my belt. So I don't know. Maybe two of them.
Double gunning, wrestling belt, strutting. That almost was a Rick Flair saying, but I messed it up because I'm tired today. BK, we got COVID in the Duncan house. BK.
Oh my goodness, who's come down with
Charles is locked down with it. Chuck Diesel, he is he's on like day 7, so we're getting there.
So y'all quarantining?
Hell yeah!
LBL bar.
I am. I'm avoiding them like the plague in there, man. They Charlie has been he's been locked down in his room for the most part. We've been wearing masks if he has to come out for anything, but I've been yelling at him like it's prison. Get back in your. Right. What are you doing? You're not allowed to use the back
under the door. We can't have any air.
Exactly. Yeah, the healthy people are in here trying to enjoy life. Get back where you came from. But he's doing pretty good. But we're locked down. Just trying to not spread it around. All the other boys got to get Marissa and I are vaccinated, so is Harper, so we don't have to get tested. All these guidelines. You talk about a moving target, son. We are living in a moving target.
You got that right. I mean, it's sort of like just we're in some space program.
It's like a movie. It's like a movie. It's all experimental. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But Marissa and I, they're like, I mean, dude, the state calls you, whenever somebody officially tests at one of these places, blah, blah, blah. So they called about Charlie, and they're like, well, what about you guys? Okay, well, you're vaccinated. Well, you and your husband are allowed to go out in public wearing a mask, just socially distanced, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you so much. And then literally, Marissa, though she teaches school, of course, and they will not allow her to come back to class for 2 weeks, regardless of what the CDC says, which I get, right? Don't walk it back into school, whatever. But, yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't know how it is in your part of Tennessee, but there's a lot of it going around down here, man. Hudson said Mondays when we found this out about Charlie, so they haven't been in school since Monday, picked Hudson up Monday afternoon. He said he had 31 kids in his first period class, and there were only 11 there Monday morning.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. 2 weeks into school, so it's crazy. So I gotta ask you this, dude. The fall's coming up. Oh, I'm through with all this fishing crap. So if y'all just want to tune out, there ain't gonna be anything else about bass fishing. What are you gonna shoot, and where are you gonna shoot it? Starting here very soon, because I know you got killing on the brain.
Everything and anywhere I can. That's the best answer I got for you. It's official. I got home. I'm almost in a blur. So after the championship thing in lacrosse, I drove up to Minnesota and fished with my buddy Andy Young for a few days, and we fished out on Mille Lacs a couple of days and a couple of little small lakes around there, and just drove home all night last night. Got home yesterday morning.
Oh, so you just got home? Dang, dude.
Yeah. So I'm officially in the off season now. So I'm going to spend this week. Kind of just unpacking everything and reorganizing. It's been just a crazy hectic year where you're just gone for 8 months.
Oh yeah,
throwing things back and forth when you're road tripping. So anyway, going to take care of that, and then it's officially hunting season for me. Missed the velvet hunt here in Tennessee. The last ends today maybe, but yeah, we got an elk hunt coming up in Colorado. That should be fun.
Bow archery hunt on that.
I'm sorry, yeah, it'll be
archery. Okay,
yeah, it'll all be bow. I'm still the Canadian border issue. We didn't, it was closed last year. Didn't get to travel to Saskatchewan like we normally do. I'm hoping all that's resolved now and is going to stay open. I guess that's kind of a touch and go situation day to day. But if that happens, I'll be in Canada for deer season and probably Indiana a little bit, Illinois some, Texas. I don't know, wherever. Hey, anybody else that's listening has a deer problem out there. Oh, you LBL guys.
You low-lifers.
Flowers are getting eaten up by you need the herd thin. I'm your guy.
He's definitely your guy. Nothing survives the wrath of Brad Knight. Nothing.
I don't know about that.
I think that if there's
a season, I sure like my tree stand.
You do, man. I'm looking forward to it too. I miss velvet. This is how prepared I am this year. Of course, shot a nice deer last year here at the house. This year, have not seen any bucks around all summer and haven't really been around a lot of cameras. But, I see them up cruising around in the yard some and put a camera out Friday, the first day of velvet season. And, awesome. So far it seems that I've got a healthy doe population here at the house, but there's nothing with any sort of antler around here right now. So hoping that changes.
It's like having a bar. If you've got a bunch of girls that are coming in,
that's right.
You're going to eventually have some guys.
That's right. I hope that's the case, man. Good. We've had several.
It will be.
We've had several bucks. You know that you've been there with me on it. But we've
shot them all. I've done all the big boys.
I have, but hoping there was some good brood stock last year. So I don't know where them suckers are hiding, but we're going to have to get some corn piles going and see if we can get them back in here.
That's right.
If you're listening from the TWRA, those corn piles will be gone by the time the season rolls on, guys.
That's right. Long ways away from where you're being.
So one other thing, dude, that I got to ask you about, because you guys live in a very unique part of the world with some cool things going on, you went last night. I saw Beck post. You saw Brothers Osborne at Brushy Mountain?
Brushy Mountain, yeah.
At the prison.
State penitentiary from the 1800s here.
Unbelievable.
Actually got condemned by the state about, I don't know if my math is exactly right, but it's 10 or 12 years ago. And some group of investors came in and actually bought it, and they turned it into a moonshine distillery, restaurant, tourist attraction, and also in the yard, like actually where the prisoners did their thing and hung out in what they called the yard, they built a big concert venue. And it's been really cool because where I live is such a rural part of of Tennessee. You just don't have a lot of excitement or anything really cool that comes anywhere close to here. Knoxville is by far and away the closest. But to actually have like these concerts, Brothers Osborne, which by the way put on one hell of a show.
Dude, that John don't play on that guitar now.
No, man, they rocked it out. It was great. I was glad I was able to make it home for that. So, but we've seen Dwight Yoakam. Let me think who all else has been there. We've seen 3 or 4 people there, and every time it's been really, really good. Corey Smith was one that we saw there. Jamie Johnson's been there a couple of times, so they have some pretty good acts. And
That's awesome,
it's been
man.
really cool to have cool things happen to our area. You know, it's a kind of a special place, especially to me. And growing up here, I love it. And anytime good things can happen to my county and my area, it's 2 thumbs up for me.
Ain't no doubt about it. Tell everybody home real quick. I know you trying to get with the family, and I'll be honest, I didn't realize you just got back yesterday. But dude, tell us about the radio station, because here's the thing. I think this is awesome. So Brad he's been involved in family business, and you actually are doing things outside of fishing in the last couple of years. You've always had a lot of stuff going on outside of fishing, but talk about that a little bit. I think that's good because people say, oh, dude, Brad Knight won the Forest Wood freaking Cup. All he does is goes to an FLW, then he comes home and he just sits on the couch, eats Cheetos, and goes bass fishing when he wants to, and then goes to the next tournament. But that's not the case.
No, I don't really like Cheetos. I'm more like, Cool Ranch Dorito guy.
Yes,
that's
same.
Spot. No, I'm just kidding. So, as an angler and a businessman, you want to diversify your portfolio as much as possible. And after the Cup, we had a couple of different type of investments, but I was looking for something pretty safe. And so my dad and his 2 business partners have actually ran a radio station for 50 years. We had our 50th year anniversary, more 52 years now. But my brother started working there as like the news director, I don't know, 6 years ago. And it just kind of all fell into place one day. And with a couple of buddies kind of sat down and devised a plan on my brother and I basically buying my dad and his business partners out with a plan that my dad would slowly phase out. And I think he's going to retire this January and maybe do some part-time stuff. But then my brother will kind of take over and run the day-to-day stuff. But yeah, so we're a 50-year business, and it's all in our family now. And we're a country music radio station. We have 3 radio stations in our group. Really big for us is NASCAR, Tennessee sports, and high school sports. And so it's kind of a busy time for us now because we're right in the middle of high school football broadcasting. You've got Tennessee football cranking up, still in the middle of NASCAR season. So it's busy, but it's good. Everything's great. Business is good. And, looking forward to that stuff. Actually thinking the start of the year, we've been in the works of outdoor radio show for our area to kind of do. So I'll be calling you for plenty of advice, tips on what to do there.
I have none, but I don't have anything that'll help you, but some stuff that'll hurt you.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
That's awesome.
Just like I said, you're diversifying your portfolio outside of fishing, and just less you got to answer to people that try to hold you hostage for pennies on the dollar.
and crankbaits, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's where I'm at, for sure.
I'm doing a lot more of ownership stuff. Problem I have is I just don't like answering to people. I don't like, here's what happens in sponsorships. Here's what nobody's going to tell you. You got a deal. Most of them are for a year because nobody wants to give you a long term. But every now and again, you'll strike a 3-year deal up. Mostly they're a year. And if you're lucky enough to get a pretty decent contract, you've got a job for about 6 months at best, right? Wouldn't you say that'd be accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
I feel pretty good about this money.
Yeah.
And then after about 6 months, you're doing all you can to maybe try to salvage your job for the next year. They just hold your thumb on you. And
yep.
I like having sponsors, and that's a great thing. No complaints. I like working for them, but I'm just not going to be ruled by those guys. And, so dependent on it, and they drag it out. Then you find out, 3 weeks before the season, you just lost, 75% of your sponsor income. Or, there's so much of that stuff that goes on.
A lot of turnover in it. A lot of turnover.
Because one marketing guy gets fired or the dreaded buyout occurs.
That's right.
And then they send you the email that's, it's going to be the greatest thing that ever happens to us. We're going to be great. And then you don't get your contract renewed. That's what happens.
It's going to be great. We just need you to take a lot less money And
as long as you're good with working for 75% less money and doing more work.
Here's your 50% discount code. Please give us all the promotion that you always have. Right. Yeah,
I just wanted more control over stuff.
Yeah, smart, man.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Well,
I'd rather start my own deal and work for myself and have that control.
Well, and I think, you and I talk a lot, and that's where I got with the podcast and with making my own videos and things and not relying on tournaments, for tournament trails as a field of promotion, right, as a platform, like kind of take control of your own thing. And it all comes down to how hard you're willing to work, right? And sure. I think that's important. And for me, I'm like you. I want to sponsor stuff is great. I'm grateful for a lot of the sponsors I have, but then sometimes you get mixed up with those that are like, hey man, we're going to give you X amount, but we need a blood sample every 3 days. Your firstborn son, we need you to wear this hat when you go to church, and then we need you to say our name 4,000 times with a discount code, and then we'll send you a check. That's not enough to even get out of bed for.
Well, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, right? Don't. If you so I'm trying
to be like the Dirty Jigs guy and just never pay any of the press staff. That's what he does. Because he's a big piece of shit. How about that for a soundbite on the LBA?
Brad Knight, everybody.
That's the start of the list. We'll keep going.
Brad Knight, everybody. Yeah, no, that's oh my God. Oh,
how about that?
Yeah, how about that for some low budget live?
Hey,
it's what we're about on this show. It's transparency and honesty.
He only dicks out. I'm probably. Oh well, I'm not the only one. We'll just put it that way. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Been there, done that, old buddy. Yeah. Know several that have. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Record stop moment right there from BK. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like Brad Knight and you don't follow Brad Knight, you're missing out.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm just kind of like Will Ferrell at the end of Talladega Nights. If you don't chew big grass,
if you don't listen to WeCo, if you don't listen to LBL, that's kind of where I'm at in life. If you don't like what I do, you just don't have to listen. I'm kind of like that. Whatever.
Hey, I saw a shirt that the guy had on at the concert. I'd really like to have them. It just said "Not for everyone."
Oh yeah, it's Brothers Osborne. That's their thing. They got that song "I'm Not for Everyone." Yeah. It says "Not for everyone." That's fine.
Not for everyone. That's it.
Yeah. I've seen it. It's a cool shirt. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That might be my tournament jersey next year.
Yeah. I'm with it, and that's certainly how I think you and I both live our lives right there. We're not.
I don't
know
everyone. What logo is going to be on it, but I may have a jersey.
You may. Yeah. Hey. Won't be a certain jig company, does it?
Well, hey. It's all right. I'll just make my own.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, or I can just buy stuff that I need. Jigs. I don't go through that many. Be all right. There's a lot of good jigs out there. There's a lot of good swim jigs out there.
You know what I mean? They're pretty good.
Do what?
I said they are pretty good. That's
the product's good. Yeah, the product's for sure good. That's for sure, man. Well, buddy, I appreciate you very much. I absolutely love the honesty. That's one of our deals. We have Brad and I, the not low budget live conversations. We solve a lot of the world's problems. Y'all just don't know.
Yeah, that's
most of them could not be aired because we will get canceled.
We will. You want bass fishing attention brought? We can bring some attention.
Yeah, that's the thing is I kind of take that. You look at guys like the Dave Portnoy for Barstool Sports and things that people do that in your face, and it's like, why do we hide? Why do we not just go full bore all the time with everything we got going on? And and the problem is our industry's too damn small.
Right.
You'll be blackballed, and we've seen it time and time again. So. I don't know, man. I need to get you down here before you go on your hunting trips. We need an in-studio, in the bar and grill, Brad Knight LD session.
That sounds good to me. We might just get a long endeavor in, just like a 3 or 4 hour long.
Hey, I'd love it, dude.
Tell all.
Yeah.
LBL tell all.
I love it, buddy. We can.
Some people right now, they're just biting on the end of their fingernails nervous at hearing that stuff.
Hey, I could almost run through a list of names. That would be like, they don't need to do that, especially if there's any drinks involved.
Yeah.
A lot of people be like, oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to have some tell-alls this year after a few things that have happened.
You know the tell-all I want to hear?
What's that?
One of these days, I want to hear the story on whatever. You know, this is the thing that hasn't been brought up. This story needs to be talked about. You remember because everybody wants to talk about cheating these days, right? Everybody's, he's cheating. He's getting information. And what about Tony Christian?
Yeah.
You remember the Tony Christian story?
Saga.
I want him exposed.
Just swept under the rug.
I want it all. I want to know what happened.
I do too. I want to find him, man. Me and Mark Jeffries from Bass Talk Live talked about that one day. Mark was trying to find him to do like a documentary, and he called me. He's like, "Do you know how to find him?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't have a damn clue." He said, "Well, you know how to get a hold of everybody."
That they've got some docuseries that I saw the other day, and they did a piece on the chatterbait, which was freaking awesome, and they did another one on. Who's the dude that won the Classic and he got all on drugs?
Oh, Robert Hamilton. Yeah, man. Those are great people. 20 feet. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Dude, Jeffrey's killed it on that.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great, man.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Really, I just happened upon it and just.
Yeah, dude. They did one on Steve Kennedy, too. That was really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Mark
enjoyed that.
Yeah, man. He did a great job. But he legit, Mark called me about the Tony Christian thing. He's like, you know all kind of people. How can we find him? I'm like, man, I don't know.
Maybe in a damn hole with dirt.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Okay.
Where it needs to be.
Cliffhanger. We're going to end it on a cliffhanger. Brad Knight is coming in studio, and we're going to talk about we're going to do a low budget, actually live with you in studio, and we're going to talk about the Tony Christian incident. That's happening.
I like it. We're gonna find him and we're gonna bring him with us. He might have to take the tape off his mouth for him to answer any questions.
Dude, I actually Googled his name around. Like I tried to, I don't know. You know, he was a Georgia guy. And the last thing that I heard was that one of his nephews or something showed up and tried to fish some local tournaments in Georgia, and they snipped that out pretty quick and stopped it. So I don't know, man. He could be. You take that many people's money like that, he could be in a hole somewhere. I don't know.
So all that kind of was happening right when I was first starting.
Yeah, me too. I was in college when it happened. But fishing the opens.
What the story is? That's the one that.
So I have heard from the man himself, Bill Taylor, some of the details. And
really?
Yeah, down at a Costa event down at Daytona one time, a little bit, but not. They wouldn't go full bore, but there's still a lot of holes in it, and they definitely, yeah. I just want to know how. There's a lot of stories out there, wives' tales, folklore about how he was doing it, right? And I think for good reason they haven't told exactly how he's doing it, because then some jackass in a Tuesday nighters, every freaking Oakley Big Bass tournament in the country is going to be won that way from now on, you know. So they got to be careful, and I get that, but dude, you talk about a story. Not only think about like a damn 30 for 30, dude. Like ESPN, one of the coolest things that could ever be documented about pro fishing. But, you know, and for FLW's sake, they got egg on their face with it, right? So they didn't want to own up to what was going on. But, dude, you talk about a guy who won the BFL All-American. He won Everstars. Yep.
Like was winning big fish.
Always won big fish. Yep.
You had 10 pounds at Lake Martin, like you strutted up there on Sunday.
That's right.
You just caught them.
Yep.
He had like 18 or 19 pounds on it.
And an 8-pounder.
Been waiting like 20 years over there.
And an 8-pounder, because a co-angler, a guy, matter of fact, I still fish team tournaments against here around home to this day, was his co-angler on the final day when he weighed those in. And he threw it one boat dock post all day.
Well, if that co-angler wants to tell me which boat dock that is, I'm good with it. Because that's something that's magical.
Yep, he threw it one boat. Well, he got involved in all the FLW stuff. He was subpoenaed and all that stuff on all that. Yeah, there was a lot. I knew a couple co-anglers that fished with him, and it was always a similar story about the boat docks, you know, for sure.
Wild stuff, man.
It's crazy. Stuff. And here's what's scary: if the guy doesn't get greedy and try to win them all because he was so damn cocky, he'd probably still be doing it.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, truth be told, you think about it, you know, unfortunately, his ego was so big, he liked the glitz and glamour. He wasn't just trying to win money to feed his family. He liked being, he had articles on bassfan.com. Never forget, people are scared to fish for big fish like I am. Piece of garbage, man.
They're afraid to fish.
Yeah, they're afraid to fish like you are, Tony, because they, they want to be able to do this for the rest of their life and not have to hide.
Like a livelihood is what I'd like to be able to do.
Yeah, man. Amazing, dude. Gosh. All right, right here, you heard it, folks. BK, Luke Duncan live here in the bar grill. We're gonna do one. We got to do that. That's gonna be a good time. All right, buddy. All right, Brad Knight. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
All right, buddy. Anytime. Thanks for having me. Appreciate everybody for listening.
No doubt.
And I'll be in a tree stand if you need me.
All right, Brad Knight, everybody, right there. That's my dude. He keeps it realer than real most of the time. It's a good time with the one and only Brad freaking Knight right there. And that Tony Christian situation we're talking about, something else. We'll dive into that. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, some of the younger folks out there might not know. Google it. It's probably out there somewhere. But certainly needs a story told. It was an incredible time in professional bass fishing to see somebody cheat hundreds of thousands of dollars away from an organization. It was so crazy. And then disappeared, never to be heard from again. Several years ago, probably 20 years ago now, I guess. But Brad Knight on the hook right there, brought to you by Eagle Claw Fishing. On the hook right there. Okay. Thank y'all so much for listening this week. I know we're all over the place, but certainly had a good time and hope you did too. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I said this last week, Boats and Pros, trying my damnedest to do 2 in the month of September because we missed August due to scheduling and just craziness, okay? Trying to get as many of those pumped out as we can. We've got some work to do, but it's coming. So just bear with me on that. Lots of great guests lined up. It's going to be fun when it drops. Just trust me. Just got to get them filmed. All right? Thanks each and every one of you. Going to take you out with some Biloxi Blues. Be sure to hug your mama and your daddy, and y'all take care out there. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe, everybody. See y'all next time.
Spanish moss and Civil War ghosts, well, I'm going to leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter east or west. North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care, no, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to